First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity of giving this talk. This is a joint work with Luis Ángel García Pacheco and José María Sigarreta from Universidad Autónoma de Guerrero in Mexico. I want to talk about fractal operators. There exist several fractional derivatives. The most important non-local fractional derivatives are Riemann-Liouville, Caputo, and Hadamard. Khalil introduced a local fractional derivative 11 years ago, which has been the starting point for several local fractional derivatives. Fractal derivatives have also been introduced in the local context. In order to define fractal derivatives, we need this definition. For each real number t and positive real number alpha, we define the power t to the power alpha as the power alpha of the modulus of t if t is greater than 0, and minus this quantity if t is a negative number. With this definition in mind, we can write f to the power beta even if f is a negative number. Given positive numbers alpha, beta, the beta alpha fractal derivative of f at the point t naught is defined by this limit, if there exists this limit, and it's finite. We say that f is beta alpha fractal differentiable at the point t naught in this case. This fractal derivative is useful in the study of the physical behavior of fractal materials. Also, this derivative can be used to describe phenomena where standard calculus may fail due to irregularity or scale dependence. We have some important remarks. As Khalil fractional derivative, the fractal derivative is local. If beta is equal to 1, the fractal derivative is a local fractional derivative, and so it's a linear operator. But if beta is different from 1, then the fractal derivative is nonlinear. Therefore, it loses some good properties, but the following facts hold. If C is a constant and f is a fractal differentiable function, then the 1-1 fractal derivative of f is its classical derivative. The fractal derivative of a constant is 0. The product of the constant for a fractal differentiable function is also a fractal differentiable function, and we have this simple rule. And finally, as I have said, the fractal derivative is linear if and only if beta is equal to 1. We also have a Leibniz rule for the product and quotient of functions. If f and beta are fractal differentiable functions, then the following statement holds. The product is fractal differentiable, and the fractal derivative of the product is the fractal derivative of the first factor times the power beta of the second factor plus the power beta of the third factor times the fractal derivative of the second one. Also, if the denominator is different from 0, the quotient is fractal differentiable, and we have this rule for the quotient, for the fractal derivative of the quotient. And we also have a chain rule for the composition of two functions. Consider two differentiable functions, f and g. if T naught is different from 0 when alpha is greater than or equal to 1, and f of g of T naught is different from 0 when beta is at most 1, then the composition is beta alpha fractal differentiable, and this chain rule holds. In particular, if we consider as f the exponential function, then we have this simpler rule. Note that these formulas are very important to perform calculations with the fractal derivative. In particular, to check if a function is a solution of a fractal differential equation, which is one of our goals, to deal with fractal differential equations. These results allow to obtain the solution of this fractal differential equation. If we define y of t as this exponential when gamma is equal to beta as this power otherwise, we have that y of t is the solution of the differential equation. The fractal derivative is equal to a constant times a power of the function. The next theorem transforms a second-order fractal differential equation on an ordinary differential equation. And so it's a main result on this theory. First, we need a definition. If I is an interval and alpha is a positive number, then the real interval I to the power alpha is the set of the points t to the power alpha with t any point of the interval I. Now, with this in mind, consider a continuous function f defined on the product of the interval I and the Euclidean plane R2 with real values, and a differentiable function x with derivative different from 0. Then x is a solution of this ordinary differential equation if and only if the function y, defined on this simple way, is a solution of this fractal differential equation. Consider now the particular case of this second-order linear equation. If a sub I and capital A sub I and b and capital B are related in this way, then x is a solution of this ordinary differential equation. If and only if the function y defined in this way is a solution of this fractal differential equation. Let us define the integral operator capital L by this formula. Note that this is just the classical integral of f, but in this situation, we are multiplying it by a potential weight. This operator plays an important role in the study of fractal derivatives, since it's the inverse operator of the fractal derivative when beta is equal to 1. That means that the 1 alpha fractal derivative of capital L of f is precisely the function f. The classical Grunwald's inequality is a powerful tool in the qualitative analysis of solutions to ordinary differential equations. This theorem is a version of Grunwald's inequality for fractal derivatives. If f, g, h, and k are continuous functions on a closed interval, h and k are non-negative functions, and this inequality holds for every t in the interval, then the following inequality holds for every t. Note that the operator L plays the role of the integral on the classical Gromwald inequality. Next, we are going to study the gross domestic product modeling. We use three different approaches: ordinary, fractal, and fractional differential equations. The first equation describes the classical simple harmonic oscillator. The Samuelson equation is a different oscillator model which describes the evolution of gross domestic product, Y of t, where here A and B are real parameters and the trigonometric function is an external forcing function. We work with the real data of Mexico's gross domestic product from 1992 to 2022. These data are provided by the Mexican Instituto Nacional de Estadística y Geografía. We compute the best approximation of this data by using the classical, fractal, and Caputo version of the Samuelson equation. In order to estimate the parameters A, B, G naught, and omega for each model, we use nonlinear regression with the function curveFit from Python. This function minimizes the quadratic error. The best fit values obtained for the Samuelson ordinary differential equation are these values A, B, G naught, and omega. Next, we consider this fractal version of Samuelson equation, where alpha and beta are the fractal orders. For this fractal equation, we fix the frequency omega equal to 10.116, which is the best value for the ordinary differential equation, to reduce computational complexity. In this case, the best parameters obtained are these values of A, B, G naught, alpha, and beta. Finally, we consider the Samuelson equation with Caputo derivatives. The main difference with the previous models is that Caputo derivative, which is non-local, takes into account the historical evolution of the system. Then we consider this model, where alpha, which is in the interval 0, 1, is the order of the Caputo derivative. We also fix the value of omega as the best value for the ordinary differential equation, as in the previous case with fractal derivatives, obtaining these optimal parameters A, B, G naught, and alpha. This figure compares these three models with the actual data of Mexico's gross domestic product. Each curve is the solution obtained for each model using the best parameters we have obtained previously. Here, the black line is the real data. The figure shows that the fractal model is the best approximation to the real data, recording both the amplitude and phase behavior. The next table shows that this image corresponds to reality. This table compares the three models. The fractal model has the highest coefficient of determination, which is almost 1. In fact, it's 0.972. Also, it has the lowest values for the mean absolute error and mean squared error. We have here the table with these values. These parameters show the effectiveness of the fractal differential equations in describing the nonlinear complexity in the empirical gross domestic product data, showing the potential applications of these fractal differential equations. And this is all. Thank you very much for your attention.